But I wanted to start by, because I don't even know the answer to this. When did you first get diagnosed with your autoimmune condition?
Just really, it was recently. So they put it on paper a couple of years ago, but everybody just was like, you have no problem, everything's fine. But like 4 doctors had put in the test results are Crohn's. So I had my one doctor tell me, we don't know what to do with you. Why don't you just see if it gets worse and then call it a day? So I'm like, well, it is getting worse and I can't call it a day, because me calling it a day, I will literally not get out of bed or the bathtub. So that's not a life. I'm missing like a ton of work. It was affecting my marriage and my family. And not necessarily in a bad way, but I don't like relying upon them. Like it's me that handles and dictates and, controls. I'm the hub. So when the hub breaks down, what do? So anyway, so I got in with a new doctor who read everything and was like, let's try for now switching up medicines. We're going to do some tests to see if you need to be on medication. Thank the Lord. My inflammation just went down. So I was on like the lighter side of Crohn's. It wasn't like it was full blown. I had an ulcer in 2019. Medicine helped heal that, but my inflammation hadn't gone down. So by the time the new doctor had saw everything, my inflammation was gone. And he's like, I'm not putting you on any medicine, but I'm still like, I'm in pain, I'm feeling gross. It just wasn't, and he's like, I don't think that was to do with Crohn's. You also have an acid reflux issue as well, like GERD. And once he told me, it was a simple change of just when I take my medicine. So taking it about 30 minutes before I eat dinner helped a lot. And for the first couple of weeks, it did great. But then I started noticing I'm either not home to make the meals, I can't take my medicine like I need to, like you know the song and dance. So it was rough stuff for me for a while, and I'm like, I don't know what else to do, because I thought I was already eating well enough. I will tell you, sorry if I'm jumping ahead.
Go for it.
But I will tell you, I started right before Thanksgiving with some severe bloating and acid. I'm throwing up from the acidity. Nothing I did helped. My medicine wasn't helping. So after 2 days of the paleo and then working with you with the exercises and stuff, it was gone. Yes. So I've been literally spreading it like the gospel, trying to like tell people, like I thought I was eating well. I didn't realize that I wasn't eating well enough. Like I knew fruits and vegetables, but I didn't realize the type of fruits and vegetables. Like that was one of the biggest things that I've become more mindful with the type of fruits and vegetables that I'm putting in my body needs to be able to support my vitamins, because I have a vitamin deficiency problem. So yeah, it became it was a nightmare to go through. I would never wish it upon anybody else, but I was grateful that I was able to get the care that I needed when I needed it. I know a lot of people struggle with it and they don't even have the tools to be able to get themselves right. Nothing that I did, no doctor could tell me do this, that, and the other. It really actually took having to, with the acid, getting on the right foods and exercising to make my life more manageable. So yeah, you guys did that.
Well, girl, you were just getting started. So I promise, because we're going to do another talk at the end of the journey and really see all the changes. But I just know there's so much in store for you.
I'm excited.
You're going to continue to feel like a new person. Because I've been through this. I don't have Crohn's, and I have Hashimoto's. And my life completely changed when I switched my diet. So I've been there in a slightly different way. But so when you were going to these doctors, describe like what did it feel like when you just felt like you didn't have any answers? Were there moments, because I can tell you personally, I would leave the doctor's office in tears when they're like, no, you're fine. I'm like, no, my energy is at a 0 on a scale of 1 to 10. I have horrible digestive issues. I'm waking up in the middle of the night drenched in sweat. Like for me, I would leave the doctor's office crying when they told me it's in your head. what did you what did you experience when you were first like going? So yeah,
I
run me through
definitely
that.
did that, and it was a lot of people that because at the first part of my journey, I didn't know if it was Crohn's, and so many people had told me that when they were getting their diagnoses, it was a mental struggle, and so I experienced that tremendously. I didn't realize that I got into such a bad place. I couldn't remember having conversations with people. When I go into the doctors, I was not able to actually, this is what they're telling me. I have no idea what it means. I can't even process. So I ended up having to go to counseling because it traumatized me so bad that I went from having zero fear of needles. I used to be the guinea pig that people that just graduated with their certificate with phlebotomy, you can come at me with this huge needle, stick my arm, I'm not gonna wince, you're fine. I can't even talk, like now I've gotten to a better place where I can talk about it, but I couldn't even talk about being on an IV, having to go through the testing, the blood draws, all that without like just so much internal pain, like it triggered. It got bad one day when I had an MRI done, and the only place that I could find that was open to do the MRI was on the other side of town on a Saturday. So I went in, and it was just the one technician there, and she walked me through the process. She was phenomenal, had a blast, and it was I shouldn't say blast because it's when you're going through the MRI, that's not the problem, but the MRE, when they're having to give you the contrast and clear you out, that part was not fun. But for how bad it could have been, like she made it better. But then I was dehydrated, so she couldn't even find a vein. She poked me 4 times. And again, no fear of needles up until I was constantly being poked all the time to where my body learned that's not good to have. Like, I don't like that response. So it started to scare me. I ended up having to come back a couple days later, take off time for work, go through the entire process all over again with the gunk that you have to drink, clear you out. It's painful. I was in tears in the bathroom. It was horrible. The overall feeling in my stomach, it felt like I'm just drinking acid, straight acid. And my stomach is like out to here. It was terrifying. I could not get a blood draw again. So they had to call in an OR nurse, and the OR nurse came from upstairs, and she saw me jogging. I'm literally running laps, trying to get my veins to cooperate and come up, or myself up, nothing. The technician that was there said, I'm gonna try it one time and that's it. If I can't get it, then I'm calling the OR nurse. So OR nurse was called. She came down and she grabs my hand without doing, oh, we're gonna do a 1, 2, 3 prick like I'm used to nurses doing, grabs my hand and shot me through between my fingers. And it was painful. I couldn't look. But for days I was welted. I couldn't sleep at night. I would wake up afraid that someone's gonna grab my arm and just shove a needle in my arm, you know? But I got the results that I needed. But again, the doctors were like, yeah, it's Crohn's, and then they call it a day. I didn't have any record of it. I couldn't know how to, I learned nothing. How to read it, how to describe, like what was going on with my, my chart. I didn't know what I was doing. It wasn't until this last February that I happened to get a summary, and I was reading through it and I noticed something, and then that started, I'm in the wrong doctor's office. I need a whole new doctor. It was traumatizing. The test results helped, so at least it was worth that pain. But I every time I have to read that somebody's going through an MRE, I'm like, no, that they noticed dehydrated, because there's nothing that can prepare you for having to go through that over and over and over again.
The whole process of having an autoimmune condition, it changes your life. There's so much you have to go through. It changes, like you said, the dynamic with the family, because sometimes you need help from other people. It can affect work, relationship, it can affect so much. So I'm sure that had part to do with the motivation why you decided to use Paleo On The Go, try the app challenge. So what if you could like dig down deep and like pull from the deepest motivations, like what is it that you hope to get out of this experience? Like why try this? That's the question.
I could go with the easy answer of my family, because that is a motivation. One of the things that I had to go through was a liver scan, and they found that I had my liver is full of fat, hard, and it was leaving scarring, and they said that if I don't make a change, it's going to shut down. So that was just a blip on the whole scale of everything that I found out about myself, and that's controllable. And it just so happened at the same time that I was going through that test that my boss's sister-in-law was also diagnosed with a liver disease, and that one was terminal. So that to me was my wake up. That was my sign I need to take it serious. So yeah, I am doing it for my family, but I'm doing it to fight for myself, because my family does need me. But if I found out that that was something that I could easily change just over changing your lifestyle, something, I don't want to say it's simple because it's hard, but that's my control. I am in control of that, and there's no medicine that can give you that back. So for me, that right there, I'm able to be in control of what I'm putting in my body, even down to the littlest sip, and it show results and, get me on that right road and not have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars because I'm a couch potato and I made that choice to be the couch potato. Then obviously I need to do it for myself and not for anybody else. I'm the type of person that I won't find motivation by having an accountability buddy. That doesn't do anything for me. I have to do it for myself every single time. I've tried this many times before, where I would start eliminating dairy, sugars, and that does help. But I didn't have the support at home at the time to do that. And so even though I'm primary motivation, if I'm seeing everybody else gets to eat however they want, everybody else gets to drink whatever they want, and I have to make 2 meals, no, that's not happening. Yeah. So then on top of, if I'm not at work, I'm at the gym, I'm having to help my kids. I have literally an hour and a half with them every night. Mm-hmm. So for me, that time is cut into spending almost an hour in the kitchen. Yeah. And we get 30 minutes to eat, and then they have to go get ready for bed. Yeah. So at least with having something that's right there for me, already pre-made, there's no excuse. Mm-hmm. So I've held that as my accountability. There is literally no excuse. The times that I've woken up and I said that I don't want to eat that, I want to eat this. Well, do you want to die or do you want to keep living?
It's a valid question. Yeah, exactly. So would you say that there have been times where, like, if you didn't have the meals, like, they're pre-made, that you would have made a not so great decision?
Oh yeah. I mean, even during my flare-up with Crohn's, I would go to Chick-fil-A, which is not bad. It's still not great, but it's not bad. But I would go to Chick-fil-A even though I knew that it was going to hurt me. Yeah. Again, I'm making that bad choice for myself because it's more a matter of convenience. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I had to learn, sometimes you have to sacrifice the convenience for your health and the greater good. Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of times where I can't make that choice. Like, I have no option. It's this or that. That's it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's been tough. Birthday parties were hard when I was watching everybody eating pizza and I couldn't have it. After the first year of I literally was only eating rice or potatoes. That's all I could tolerate for the longest time. And the first couple of months I was grouch. I was not a nice person to be around because I just wanted to eat whatever you were eating. And I found that type of elimination didn't work. But I had to, again, make the right decisions for my body at that time. And some of those choices were they weren't good.
Yeah.
But yeah, our go-to would have been fast food, and I would make out of those fast food options, what is the best option? And still that's not okay.
What do you tell yourself to motivate yourself on the days where maybe the autoimmune is flaring up a bit and you don't have as much energy as you did on another day? Do you tell yourself, do you want to live or die like you just said, or is there
literally survival mode? And that's part of the reason why I had to go to counseling, because I lived in survival mode for years, and after a while your body is going to say, hey, we're done, we're at our limit, because I'm constantly in that survivor fight or flight mode. Your body it's taking on too much trauma. So the days that I couldn't get up and I couldn't make food, I had to teach. My oldest knew how to make ramen. I had to teach her they know how to make sandwiches, like who doesn't, but they've been doing that. But they had to become more responsible with having to cook dinner while my husband is at work and working late, and again, I'm that hub, I'm the one that has to say this is what needs to happen, blah blah blah. So the days that it was really bad, or I'm in the bathtub, like they had to take over. They never complained, that was never an issue, but I unfortunately didn't equip them with, they can cut up carrots and boil them and have that ready to go for a meal. I didn't equip them with how to make chicken or anything. They just knew mac and cheese, ramen.
Right.
Like the bad foods that we're supposed to avoid.
Yeah, well, this can be a ripple effect for the whole family, because at the end of the day, the habits that they learn at this age are going to dictate their health as
Correct.
an adult, and so you going through this experience is going to be a great example for them. It's going to help the whole family be healthier, so they'll thank you for it one day.
Yeah, I mean, I lived the lifestyle at their age where I could eat junk food because that's what is the cheapest and that's what's handy. And easily available and can be made. But when I'm 19, I'm losing my gallbladder, and I'm told that I'm the youngest patient that they've ever had. That struck a chord, and so I lost weight for a little bit. But I didn't learn how to eat well enough, and I just slipped back into bad habits and let it go from there. Until recently, and so that was my turning point where I'm like, I'm creating bad habits, and I didn't even realize that I'm teaching those bad habits. And even in fact, the other night, I told my husband, I should have taught my kids to be in the kitchen with me while I'm cooking. I hate cooking, so I didn't want them around me while I'm trying to cook because it's anxiety for me. And I didn't want them to get burnt and worry about it, but I should have showed them, this is what you do to survive and take care of yourself. And they probably would have been a lot more equipped for when I fallen and I can't be able to cook for everybody. So it's something that now this week they've been grumbly, but they're learning how to do. Yeah.
That's good. See, it's never too late. I grew up eating McDonald's and Taco Bell, true story. And I asked my parents now that I'm like this big health nut, I'm like, why did you feed me that growing up? They're like, we didn't know any better and we were poor. I was like, all right, it is what it is. Now we know. So now I help my family now be healthy, and now they thank me for it. At first they were like, oh no, we're not eating your healthy. Yeah, you're crazy. We're not following your ways. And now they've come around.
It's a cult.
Yeah. So let's fast forward to, let's say, another 2.5 months from now, when we're going to be sitting here again and talking about how amazing you've done. Like, what does that look like to you? Like, what changes will you see over the next 2.5 months? If you can visualize like where your life will be, describe like what's your energy like, anything about your health that you want to tell me, what it looks like in 2.5 months. Paint it out for me. Paint the picture.
Yeah. So obviously I'll be a lot skinnier.
Do you have a goal, like a goal weight?
I do. Well, the doctor told me that I need to be in my 120s.
Okay.
So right now, I actually weighed myself, and I wasn't supposed to, but I did weigh myself today. And I usually do it in the mornings on a Monday, but I kept forgetting. And so I did actually lose weight. So now I'm at 220, I think it was 221.8.
And what did you start at again?
Just 3 weeks ago, I was at 220, I can tell you it's on my phone, but I think it was like 227, almost 230.
That's great. That's amazing.
So
that's quick for that.
It's all food and moving. Like even at work, we have standing desks. So I've been getting up and I'll move around. I've noticed that my water intake, now that I have to be mindful of it and keep a log of it, I went from just like this little bottle would be my whole entire water intake some days, because I get so involved with my clients, I forget to water myself is what I call it, but I don't take care of myself. So yeah, we're talking about it, yeah.
I'm gonna remind you now next time I see you. Did you drink your water, Stephanie?
I used to have the Apple Watch, and that would constantly remind you, but after a few months, forget it. But so my end goal, aside from the weight, the other issue that I didn't mention before, I went to 2 cardiologists, and the one just kind of dismissed me and said it's weight, lose weight, and you'll be fine. The other one had said, I think it's more than just weight. Weight will definitely help you to lose it, but I don't know where it is, so come back when it happens again. And it's only happened twice since then, and not enough for me to be able to go in, but it would take me to where I can't even get up off the couch without feeling winded, like I'm about to pass out. And after doing research, I found that can be pretty common. I don't know why it happens, but a lot of people with Crohn's have whatever under the sun. I had some weird eye issues that were going on, and I couldn't see. My daughter had to walk me to the car because all I could see was white. So that was terrifying. Yeah. So again, on the grand scheme of everything Crohn's related, all of that does make sense now. But I want to make sure that can stay away and not be an option for my body, because I'm able to kind of get ahead of it. I can be in a little bit more control, whereas other people, it was literally dealt with in a fast pace for them, that they're losing their intestine, they're going blind, they're losing limbs, and it gets bad. So why not take that opportunity that God gave me to just get yourself better and do the right thing for yourself. Control what you can control, because obviously the body is still going to do what it wants to do. But I want to be able to have a more stable heart rate, a more stable body, a more stable mind, because I definitely noticed I don't typically eat a lot of red meat, obviously for inflation purposes. But when I was, because again, I went through drastic, I wasn't eating anything except for a white potato and rice, that I started eating a lot more red meat, because my body was craving those vitamins, and I didn't know how else to get it but eat red meat. So my mind's cleared up a lot. I'm not as brain fog as I was before. I've definitely improved. And I know that had a lot to do with the preservatives that are in the food, with my drinking, not being mindful of drinking enough water and getting dehydrated. So that's my goal as well too, aside from the physical part, but the emotional and the mental part. I know that I'm gonna be in a lot better position. But I also want my friends, my family, like what you were saying, I want them to take it serious, because I have other people that are going through a lot harsher situations, and they're choosing not to make any changes. They're choosing to just let it go. My husband doesn't want to make any changes to his diet, but he's had no choice in the matter with me, so he's starting to, okay, well, we're not making 2 different meals, we're not doing this, so I'll just have to do this. So that's one of my internal, external goals, aside from the physical part. I want my family to make the changes. They started. My girls have made better decisions at school when I'm not there. They've made a lot better, choosing fruit over fries, choosing to have, instead of a potato, they're going to have some type of other vegetable that has more nutrients to it. And their school does provide them a healthier option. So I'm glad that they're just being mindful of that. So yeah, my youngest has seen and has started mimicking those changes. So that is one of the biggest kudos for parenting. Like anything else, I could stay the same way, but if she's also making the better choices, that right there, that would be all the praise in the world that I needed.
You're gonna get it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all have any, just you, do you have any other questions that I should
No,
ask?
I mean, I'm just over here inspired. Honestly, no, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, we hear it from our customers and whatnot, but I kind of know Stephanie through a family member. Anyway, so I didn't know that this had gone so deep.
Yeah.
So
If it wasn't for Jessica in a couple of instances, because I'm one of those, I'm not going to question things.
yeah.
I'll just take whatever the doctor says as it is. And so
Jessica will not take no. Yeah,
she does not take no for an answer.
That's the
She
great
is
thing
my
about
medical
Jessica.
buddy. Yeah.
So Jessica's my cousin's wife.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I don't have any other questions. I'm really glad that you responded to this. I'm glad that this is working out well for you.
Yeah.
And my piece in this is just trying to come together and find ways to get the word out to people and say, hey, this actually does work. We have the proof.
Yeah.
And in tandem with your fitness, and making sure that you're in alignment with what's best for you, and having a professional like Stephanie guide you in that process is, it's a beautiful thing. So I don't have any other questions. I think you pretty much encapsulated all of it.
I was going to say the other thing that I've been bragging about to people. So I had kind of went through a program where I can learn how to read labels, but it didn't stick. I didn't really understand what I was doing. One of the things that I noticed with paleo, there's like 4 or 5 ingredients, whereas other stuff I would get 7, 8, 9. I have no, like, there was one ingredient I read on the label at the grocery store. I have no idea what it means.
Yeah.
I have no clue what it means.
That's why it says right there, real food delivered.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what the purpose of this company is, because Dave himself has autoimmune issues, and was founded in the fact of what you were just saying, and the science behind it shows. I mean, the evidence is there. Getting rid of the things that aren't supposed to be in your body,
The body
plays
heals.
a big toll.
Yeah.
Food is medicine, and
One of my best friends has, I think she's 5, number 5 or 6, autoimmune disorders. And so she was asking me, because I've been posting all kinds of stuff about it. So she was asking me, like, what is it? What do you eat? Tell me more about it. And that's when I was like, am I allowed to share or talk about?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Because this is,
So-
I mean, really, it's your journey that you're donating your time and hopefully getting better out of it. So anybody that has questions, or really Lindsay's the authority when it comes to what's best in relation to how to position yourself to eat better, because I don't know. She's the one that's going, she has the
Heck yeah, I thought I knew.
experience.
I thought I knew until last week.
Well, we got some more changes coming. We got some more changes coming. You're gonna be brand new soon, I promise you. But you're not gonna be miserable in the process.
No,
Yeah,
because I was reading, and so that was what I was trying to say earlier. Elimination diet, going extreme, doesn't work. It didn't work for me. Having to just take it all away and then introduce, great, yeah, no, I don't have time. But doing something where I can eliminate one thing at a time, I'm more motivated to stay on track than
Yeah. Good.
and the fact that there's cookies. I'm excited. I got my package today. I was whispering to everybody in the office. I'm like, my cookies came.
Nice.
So I'm excited. Oh my gosh, the muffin that I had this morning.
Was it good? Which one was it?
It's the carrot.
Yeah.
Okay, so with actual carrot in it.
Yeah.
And
Real
raisin in the
food,
middle.
Imagine that.
Yes. I was like, why is there anything chewy in this muffin? Because I read the ingredients. Yes. So I was thinking it was just like, it was not chopped up, that it was blended in with the ingredient. But sometimes when you do that, it can kind of get lost in the translation and you're not using as much as you should. So when I took the chunk, I'm like, what am I eating? And it was a carrot and it was raisins. I was like, this is actually not that bad.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it was delicious.
I said it earlier when we were having a meeting. I told our head chef, I said, I'm not 100% convinced that you aren't a witch in that kitchen. Just brewing it up. Because I mean, some of the things that come out of there, I'm not following a very strict diet in particular in relation to autoimmune or anything, but I do eat the food,
Yeah.
and it's
good.
amazing.
Tastes good
It's
to
really
you.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had
I think
today.
we're
I had
probably
the
Give me
good.
1 second. I need
Yeah.
this.